Joining me now from Dallas is Republican Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, a surrogate and supporter for the Romney team. Welcome. Thanks for being here, Senator.
Thank you, Carol. It's good to be with you.
Thanks for being here. With high unemployment and other issues, why would the Romney team release this type of ad now?
Because it is a major change in the work requirement that has been such a good reform. In fact, it's one of the best reforms that has worked. 5 million people were on the welfare rolls in 1994. And in 2010, at the end, it was about 2 million. So it's really put people to work, given them a pride in themselves. There's so many good stories about welfare reform that families now with working people have more income and their children grow up not in poverty but seeing a work ethic. And to have guidelines that are now coming out to soften that, Carol, it's a very bad thing.
Oh, well, Senator, the only problem with this ad, and I'm sure many people would agree with what you say, but we fact-checked that ad along with PolitiFact, and it's just not true. I mean, 2 Republican governors asked for these waivers, and the waivers don't remove the requirement that welfare recipients find work.
It lessens the requirement, and it allows self-help type programs to be substituted for the either job training or the work requirement. And the work requirement is 20 to 30 hours, so it's not a full-time work requirement, but it is a modest work requirement. And Carol, that's the foundation of the bill.
Well, Democrats say they even have this letter signed by Mitt Romney when he was governor of Massachusetts. He appealed to Congress for increased waiver authority in the program for the sake of moving recipients from welfare to work, because the requirements coming down from the government just. And as you might expect, in these tough economic times, it's hard for everyone to find work.
Well, what is important is that the work requirement be in place. Even if it is, in many states, they have a state requirement that they can do things for the state that the state can't afford to do right now. Why wouldn't an innovative state be able to say, gosh, we've got all these things that need to be done, but our coffers are strapped, so we will take people who are willing to work and they're taking welfare, and we'll put them to work, and we'll give them the opportunity to be disciplined and go to work every day and learn maybe a new trade or a new job.
But even Mitt Romney, back when he was governor of Massachusetts, wanted these types of waivers because he found it difficult to really truly help people on welfare. He wanted his state of Massachusetts to figure out how to do that best.
Well, I think we're talking about the Obama record here and the federal requirements. And I don't think Mitt Romney meant to have self-help programs be substituted for work training, and really making the effort to give people the opportunity to earn more and get a job training skill. And I think we're talking about an Obama overreach. There was no warning that he was going to try to change the rules. It would never have gotten through Congress what he is trying to do. So whether it's Republican governors who are asking for waivers, I don't think any of them are looking at putting reading and self-help exercise classes in place of work training that will give people an opportunity to be a part of a productive society.
In fairness, at the time, and going back to when Romney was governor of Massachusetts, he defended a state program that provided automobile insurance and AAA plans to welfare recipients because they had donated cars and they needed to drive to work. And some of these regulations issued down by the federal government prevented them from doing that. So I think maybe these Republican governors who requested this of the White House wanted those types of help programs.
And I would agree with that. You want to make it easier. That's why there are also capabilities for people to get good child care when they're on welfare and in a work program. That's something that we all support. We would support making it easier to get to work. But I think the welfare reform is one of the most successful that we've had in this country. And I really applaud Mitt Romney for standing up and saying we don't want to in any way lessen the work requirement because it's had a good impact on the standards of families and children who now don't live in poverty.
Even if that's not really true?
Well, I think it is true. I think the guidelines that came out from the Department of Health and Human Services basically said we want to make it easier to solicit waivers for the welfare reform program, including the work reform, and that was the essential part that can't be undone by an administration that is overreaching. If they had taken this to Congress, it would not have passed.
Even former President Bill Clinton, who orchestrated this welfare to work program back when he was president, said it's just simply not true. This ad is not true.
Bill Clinton, with all due respect, President Clinton vetoed the welfare reform bill twice before he signed it. And I was glad that he signed it. I thought that was a good thing for him to compromise and go forward, and it has been a huge success. So I think that it was a hard-fought battle. I was there when it happened. I thought it was an excellent program to go forward, and to lessen that now is wrong. We have food stamps. We're taking care of people who are out of jobs with unemployment compensation, but the welfare program is something that is meant to bring people forward in society and give them a chance to take job training and work and raise their kids seeing them with a discipline to go to work. And it's worked. And softening that is wrong, and that is what the Obama administration did with this Health and Human Services guidelines for really lessening the welfare to work part of that bill.
Well, again, CNN fact-checked that. We found it to be untrue, but Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, we're glad you joined us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Carol.